There he is. Good. There we go. So Jean will be recording.
Yep.
That's good. What else is going on? So, Stephen, you disappeared again.
Yep, I'm back.
So I'm glad you two, Stephen and Zishan, will be doing a scene, and that's good because I wanted people to be able to see how a scene works over Zoom. Some of you who have been in the Zoom class already know, you're already aware of that. And with most of you, I've been working with you before, so I'm just going to pick up where I left off. Elsa is going to be helping when we get more of the European people. And more of the new people to help me get things going there. But with you guys, I'm just going to kind of carry on where we were. So Rachel is in Toronto, I think. Yep. Right. Besta will be watching. She's in Montreal. Zishan's Vancouver. Stephen is it Rhode Island? Stephen, where are you from? Oh boy. Let's see, do we have anything in chat there? I don't know. Well, he'll be back. He's from, I believe, Rhode Island. So that is kind of an international thing. You two are on either end of the continent, so that'll be kind of cool to watch. Jean, again, is will be managing, well, doing the recording for us. He will be watching, and Besta will be watching, and Adam, if he comes back. And there's, what's up with your thing, Stephen? You're coming, you go. You're here now?
Yeah, sorry, I turned it on and then accidentally turned it off immediately afterward.
Okay, cool. Good. So the rules for how this works is when we have a scene, or a monologue, only that person will be on screen. So the rest of you need to mute and also turn your cameras off. You'll still be able to see that. You'll still be able to hear me. So don't forget to do that when we get going here. What else do we need to say? The reason, well, a couple of reasons. The reason we're doing the international workshop is, number one, we do have quite a few people from other parts of the world, especially in Europe, that are working with Elsa. Elsa's also a Strayon coach. And so we kind of wanted to open it up to everybody. And the main reason is, as I often say, every role that any of my major clients that are up for big things, almost every single one of them tells us it was not done in person. Okay, it was a self-tape, and then the callbacks were all over Zoom, and they're getting cast before they ever meet anybody live. All right, that's the thing that's happening now. So as we learned when we first started, we started the online class during COVID because we thought, well, we got to do something. And the first couple of months, those of you that were with us at that time, that was pretty painful. It was pretty awful. But then people started to get the hang of this thing, and it really started to take off. And as a result, Rachel can tell you, Zishan can tell you, and Tamsin, they're starting to get more work because they're really good at self-tapes and callbacks online, doing a scene online. So, and especially for people that aren't in a major, production city, it's going to be very important for them to really be a master at Zoom, really be able to do this stuff, to connect to somebody that isn't even in the same country, like we'll see today, but to really be able to tell a story over this medium is pretty much a necessity to your career. All right. This thing, I was talking to Rachel earlier. She just got a new agent that's opened more doors for her because they're more aware globally of what's going on. And I want you all to know that you're no longer, you know, a Montreal or a Boston or an LA actor. You're a global actor now, and you've got to be open to that and aware of kind of what's going on. I think I told most of you the beginning of the year, we saw London take off. There are way more productions being done in Europe, basically out of the London hub for English speaking anyway. But there's a few in France and quite a few films coming, English films. And now we're starting to see LA catch up now with all the incentives the government is giving. So that's starting to open up, and LA actually, the past couple of weeks, is surpassing London in terms of new productions. My son, who some of you know, is a key grip, pretty well-known key grip in LA, and he's been working all the time, even through all of it. But he was saying, yeah, it looks as though it's really going to start to pick up now, production everywhere. It's not so much just LA. We're seeing films being done in Des Moines, Iowa, and places that we didn't even know, you know, that they were filming things, but all over the US, different cities in Canada now that we're seeing that are getting filmed. People, you know what? And a set designer told me this maybe 7 years ago. He said, you're going to see the studio productions go down and local filming really start to pick up, because the audience doesn't like studio shot films anymore. It wants to see real locations. So that's going to be happening more and more as well. Anyway, that's why we're still going to be doing this. We're going to keep doing a few of the free classes just to get it going. And then we'll be doing some free classes in LA as well, which Zishan, you and anybody in Vancouver that, you know, has knows Strayon, you know, that would be something for you guys to watch or even do a scene in as well. I think it's a good opportunity for Vancouver actors to be seen by some of our people in LA. And we will have, well, some of you know Karina will be watching those classes. She's going to be, I can't tell you what she's directing now yet. I can't tell you yet. But she's a pretty important director right now. Clark will be watching. Clark's an actress who's been very successful. And a bunch of our other people, Tiffany, some of you know from Boston, Tiffany will be there, and Andy, who's an editor for Netflix, who will be watching as well. So it's a good way for Vancouver people to be seen by people in LA as well. So I'll let you know about that stuff. Do you guys, I think that's it. You all know Strayon, so I don't have to go through what that's all about. Or Acting for Film. Acting for Film is the US corporation. Strayon Filmworks is the Canada corporation. Most of the international and the LA and the Boston are all done through the US corporation. Montreal, Vancouver, which I think Isabel's going to be doing a workshop there. And Toronto will be under the Strayon Corporation, but everything now is kind of going to be labeled Strayon Acting for Film, just to make that clear for everybody. And you can go to the Acting for Film website as well and learn a little bit. The private coaching is done on that one too, the US private coaching. And also the Shakespeare class, which Stephen has been taking very loyally for quite a few months now. And that's a great way to learn about character and scripts and stories, I think, if you're interested in looking into that. Anything else? Anything else is doing a class over in Lyon and working with, I forget the name of the company or the school there.
I work at the cinema school in Lyon. So I'm giving acting in English classes because there's mostly everything is in French, of course. So, but I opened classes on my own when I arrived here 2 years ago, and I I started classes bilingual because everybody like it they're like uncertain about English. I said, okay, you know what, I'm
Uh,
going to give you the scenes in French and in English, so we do both, and it works pretty well,
yeah,
because
that's
they like
good.
it like that, you know, that it's
Invite them
faster to
all,
learn.
you
Yeah,
know, to watch, and including the people at the cinema place, the school. That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Okay, this has to be on Do Not Disturb. Okay, we're going to start with Rachel because she has to leave early. I'll just get that on Do Not Disturb. Cool. So you're doing a monologue from Saltburn, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Good for you. Good choice.
See.
Okay, so we all kind of disappear. I go to the speaker view. And everybody else make sure, right, your camera is off. Good, and your microphone is off. That's cool. I'm going to get the picture right. That's cool. Okay. And Rachel, monologues, you can start whenever you're ready. You take your time and just start. I'm all set on my end. I will get rid of my picture and mute myself. So whenever you're ready, just go ahead.
Politeness is so grating. Do you know that? You're always sorry. Always flinching away like a little fucking serf. I saw you sobbing in the church at the funeral. I watched you weeping away, and I felt so sorry for you. But then I remembered, and I started laughing. And I couldn't stop laughing because I remembered that you only knew him for 6 months? You hardly knew him, Ollie. You had nothing to do with him, with us, with here. You're just a stranger. Yet here you are, right in the middle of it all. Stranger fucking danger. Hey, Ollie, you know what Daddy's been calling you? Spider-Man. Because you're always skulking around, weaving your spidery, Olivery web. Hey, Ollie. Ollie, don't be upset. I don't think you're a spider. Mm-mm. I think you're a moth. I'm right, aren't I? Quiet, harmless, drawn to shiny things. Patting up against the window, just desperate to get in. Well, you've done it now. You've made your holes in everything. You'll eat us from the inside out. Is that his aftershave? You fucking freak. I bet you're wearing his underwear too, aren't you? You disgusting little nobody. Oh my God. You ate him right up. And you licked the fucking plate.
And cut. Well, how'd that go?
Okay.
You know, this is so cool. I'm so glad you're here. And I hope we continue, you know, either private coaching, which we do a fair amount, or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, your strength is heart.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh my God, you have a huge heart. And that's a thing that's going to show up all the time. Got it? That's good. That's
Mhm.
fine. Okay. You've got the heart.
Yeah.
You always do. Okay. The thing that we need to work on more and more is the strength.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's where because, you know, basically what you're doing right now is going to be great. I mean, Hallmark, you'll be a Hallmark star. Okay. Yeah, but the deal is you're better than that. And I want you to do everything. Okay. I want you to do, you know, girl with a dragon tattoo kind of stuff. I want you to play those kind of characters as well. But they still need to have heart. All right. So, you know, a lot of times in my workshops, we're talking about you don't sweep, you don't say that was wrong, get rid of it and start something else. You're a great example of no, take that's strong, and now add to it.
Yeah.
Okay. The most important thing that's missing here is truly the moment before. Now, you know, I have this image, the moment before, if I'm actually really experiencing it,
Mm.
it does something. It carries what I call the black bag behind you. It carries everything that has happened to that character up to this point. Okay. I don't have to think of everything. I don't have to write a 40-page biography. Okay. But if I can truly, with my heart and soul, get into the moment before, the whole history of the character will come because it's already in our imagination.
Mhm.
Okay. There's a part of us that already knows the character, already knows the story fully.
Mhm.
Okay. And so that's the thing that I want you to be aware of. Your moment before, let's look at we're number one, we're in third act.
Yeah.
Okay. If
Yeah.
I'm playing just heart the way you did, I'm more second act, maybe. Okay. So we want to add the trauma that
Yeah.
this girl has been through. Okay. Um, and your brother, who was the only sane person in this family. Okay. You have lost your life raft. Okay. You've lost your touchstone. Okay. He's gone. All right. And your you know, relationship with this guy, I forget his name. Okay. Yeah. Has gone through some really incredible changes as well. All right.
Mhm.
It's a very strong love hate,
Yeah.
even on your first meetings with him, because of his class, because of what he does. Okay. Because of the meeting outside at night, all the rest of this stuff. Okay. But now your brother is dead. Also, that other friend is dead. Right. Okay.
Yeah. Well, our like cousin
Yeah,
got shunned. So
yeah,
it's not there anymore. So basically I'm just alone with Ollie
yeah,
and my parents.
yeah. And the parents, right. I want you to turn up how horrendous that would be, okay? She's in a bathtub, she's probably been drinking, okay? And I'm getting that. You don't have to play it, you don't have to do it, okay? But I want you to turn up her strength and how mad she is at Ollie,
Mhm. Yeah.
okay? He has, you know, a deserted, hurt everybody in this family, okay? Including your brother. When your brother found out, when we all found out who Ollie really is
Yeah.
and the lies he's been telling, okay? That crushed your brother, you know that. Got it? I want you to turn up. You've got the love for him. And that's a problem with this monologue and with this character in the film. She just turns and just becomes hateful of him. No, there's still a part of you that there is that part of you that does still love this guy, but he has destroyed the one most important person in the world, okay? Whether you know plot wise whether he did it or not, which you don't know, okay? But you do know emotionally what he did to your brother.
Mm-hmm.
Got it? And why your brother, we're making it look as though it's suicide, I think. I forget the movie. All right. But it's his fault. I want you to turn up in the guy that just walked into your bathroom, okay, as you're taking a bath unannounced, okay, and comes over to you like, oh, let's kiss and make up or something. I want you to turn up that, anger. And because you've worked with me, anger is a cover emotion. It covers hurt and fear. And in this case, I want the hurt turned way up, okay? It was a little too easy for somebody that has lost their touchstone, the person that makes them hang on in this family, in this place. I want that turned up big time. Now, you're pretty good on punctuation, which is my latest little pet peeve. And Stephen from Shakespeare class will know why. You've got pretty much all of them, except there's a couple times when you're linking two things together a few times. The one that I notice is the grading one, wherever that comes. Your politeness right at the top. Your politeness is grading, okay? Because he's going to come in with that kind of his typical little, okay? And I want you to want to kill this guy, okay? Except you're not sober or something, okay? I want that turned way up. Your politeness is grading, period.
Yeah.
Followed by, do you know that? Okay, those are two different thoughts. Punctuation is the screenwriter's way of showing us where a thought ends and where a new one begins. If you link them together, it's one thought, and it's not as powerful as saying you're grading and then asking him a question. Are you aware of that, asshole? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So right at the start, linking these two takes the power of the two thoughts away. There was a later one about being the stranger or something,
Yeah.
which you linked. I'm not sure where that was. It's very important that we honor the script. Well, initially, and in this case, usually in third acts, we need to be very careful about honoring the script as well, okay? Because it's the screenwriter's best way of trying to get us to feel what is going on in the character, okay? Once we really have that, you can let go of it. But in that case, where you have a statement followed by a question, no, you can't do it, okay? So that's the thing to realize. Let's do it again. And, you've heard all those notes. Your part of your brain that's in charge of creativity has heard them. They deal with the notes, not you. But I want to see somebody that's hurt and pissed off more than anything.
Yeah.
Ready? Hold on just a second. You stay where you are. I have to admit somebody. Usman, just stay with your camera off and stay muted. You can watch and we'll talk to you in between scenes. Okay, and once again, monologues, you can start whenever you're ready. That's true on a set too. They're going to give you a lot of time. So whenever.
Politeness is so grating. Do you know that? You're always sorry. Always flinching away like a little fucking serf. I saw you sobbing in the church at the funeral. I watched you weeping away and I felt so sorry for you. But then I remembered and I started laughing. And I couldn't stop laughing because I remembered that you only knew him for 6 months. You hardly knew him, Ollie. You had nothing to do with him, with us, with here. You're just a stranger. Yet here you are, right in the middle of it all. Stranger fucking danger. Hey, Ollie, you know what Daddy's been calling you? Spider-Man. Guess you're always skulking around, weaving your spidery, Olivery web. Hey, Ollie, don't be upset. I don't think you're a spider. I think you're a moth. I'm right, aren't I? Quiet, harmless, drawn to shiny things, batting up against the window, just desperate to get in. Well, you've done it now. You've made your holes in everything. You'll eat us from the inside out. I just aftershave. Oh, you fucking freak! I bet you're wearing his underwear too, aren't you? You disgusting little nobody. Oh my God. You ate him right up. And you licked the fucking plate.
And cut. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. I want one thing because now I'm directing.
Yeah.
I want just one thing and I want you to do it again. That was spot on. I mean, anybody that was watching, that was a great adjustment, and that's everything. Always be aware of that, okay? Automatically assume that you're going to get the heart of the character
Yeah.
and then start adding the other layers to it, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so as a director, I'm going to tell you, I want you to see the funeral. I want you to see your brother in that casket when you mention the funeral, right? That's all I want to say. Ready? Back to the beginning and start whenever you want.
Yeah. Your politeness is so grating. Do you know that? They're always sorry, always flinching away like a little fucking serf. I saw you sobbing in the church at the funeral. I watched you weeping away and I felt so sorry for you. But then I remembered and I started laughing. And I couldn't stop laughing because I remembered that you only knew him for 6 months. You hardly knew him, Ollie. You had nothing to do with us, with him, with here. You're just a stranger. And here you are, right in the middle of it all. Stranger fucking danger. Hmm. Hey, Ollie, you know what Daddy's been calling you? Spider-Man. Because you're always skulking around, leaving your spidery Olivery web. Hey, Ollie, don't be upset. I don't think you're a spider. Mm. I think you're a moth. I'm right, aren't I? Quiet. Harmless. Drawn to shiny things. Batting up against the window, just desperate to get in. Well, you've done it now. You've made your holes in everything. You'll eat us from the inside out. Is that his aftershave? You fucking freak. I bet you're wearing his underwear too, aren't you? You disgusting little nobody. Oh my God. You ate him right up. And you licked the fucking plate.
And cut. Yeah. Okay, those two are great. And yeah, look at both of them. You could even, you know, use either one of those, I think, you know, to send out. I really think so. Those are great adjustments. I think everybody watching will see how incredibly different from one take to the next it is with the director just saying one simple little thing, okay? But the journey was there in the story is exactly the same in every single one of them, okay? It's powerful. All right. The plot and what she's going to do at any given time, we don't know. Okay. And that's the way to do it. You know, basically, you said, you know, if we were directing, I'm going, you know, we're moving on because I got exactly what I need in 2 takes. And that's the thing they're looking for, is the ability to do that. The other great thing, you and I have been working together for God, also a long time, haven't we? Yeah.
2016, yeah.
Yeah. And so you have, and you've been working with me on the online class almost every time we have a session, which is good. Because the thing that I hope everybody saw is the intense connection that she had to this person that wasn't even there. Okay. I'm sure in her imagination, he's there and he's reacting, he's doing whatever he's doing. And your imagination takes over and does that. But your connection to him was riveting. Okay. And boy, in a self-tape or in a callback, that's the thing they're looking for. But to be able to do that with nobody actually being there, that's powerful. Okay.
Yeah.
So very, very good. Good adjustment. But that's sort of the lesson. I want you to trust that you've got the heart. You don't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
Start adding the other layers. You know, what has happened up to this point? What is the moment before? And both of those, very, very good work. Yeah, look at them both. I think those are cool. Nice. Anybody else? Anybody have any questions? You can come back if you want. Yeah. Question. Let me see. I got to switch my views. I haven't done this in a while, have I? Cool. Tamsin, did you have a question or?
No, I didn't. Did I look like? No, sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Elsa, anything? No. Zishan, any question or anything? Or you guys are just coming back?
No questions, but I very much enjoyed her her reading. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good. Anybody else have anything to say? Just turn your microphone on if you do. And then, okay, cool. All right. Usman, thank you for stopping in and saying hi. Yeah, you can continue watching. And anybody, if you have questions at any time in between the scenes, don't be afraid to ask any questions.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jock, I do have one question. When you're doing the monologue, who are you looking at? I mean,
Okay, so
on Zoom. Who?
okay, if we're doing so here's the example. If we're doing a scene, I think I'll have Zishan and Stephen, you're not in a rush, are you? I'll have you guys go, yeah.
No hurry.
Well, after Tamsin.
No, me. Oh, okay. No, after. Can I go at the end?
Can what?
Can I go at the end? Because I changed my monologue. Can I go after the other two if possible?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
I just
But here's an answer to your question, okay?
Yeah.
What we're going to see with Stephen and Zishan, we're going to see basically what's going to happen in a callback, all right? You are actually going to see the reader who you will be reading with. And if it's a good production, it's going to be a good reader as well, okay? And so what we'll see with the two of them, I mean, is what a callback is going to look like, all right? So in that case, you will see the other person and you better connect with them, okay? Like you have been doing in the online class as well. You've got to connect your heart to that person. That's the most important person in the world. That is from casting directors I'm in contact with, that's the number one thing in a callback. Can you connect to the other person, whether it's live or whether it's over Zoom? All right. And they like it over Zoom because that's a real test to see if this person can connect to another person that isn't even in the same room. Okay. And it's also what casting directors are saying is, I'm seeing what the camera's going to see. So I have a much better idea of what you're going to do on a set when we do this stuff over Zoom. Okay. A few of them have said that. Some of them still are missing the in-person call, I don't know, things. But that's the thing that we want. Now, if it is just a monologue, okay, like that, if we were going to shoot a scene where it's just you talking, right? And the other person may or may not be there, depending on technicalities and a lot of other things. Usually they are there, but there is a chance not. Then you have to do exactly what Rachel did. You got to be able to connect in your imagination with that person, okay? And seeing them react. You don't have to lock in on them, but you've got to see these people and you have to be connected to them.
But
And
were
it's-
you,
Yeah.
sorry, did Rachel see you? Were you
I-
visible?
I could see myself on screen,
Yeah.
even though I hid my self view. I just looked at the corner of my computer and just
Yeah.
imagined Ollie there.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to look, because I
No, I
did
know.
hide my self view, but for some reason, when everybody else disappeared, I could see myself on screen. So I
Yeah.
just popped to
Yeah.
the side, so I wasn't like looking at myself,
Yeah.
because that would have distracted me too much. So I just looked at the corner and I just imagined him there.
Yeah, I could see you looking that way, but sometimes this way. And I didn't know if you were seeing Jock or
No,
No,
no, they
I was
can't see me.
yeah. I couldn't see anybody. Like I could see myself, but I just did the
Yeah.
corner. Like, sometimes, like when I was remembering things, I just kind of looked away because that
So,
really happened. But
yeah, if we're doing a self-tape, you need a good reader and you want to put the reader just about 6 inches or so on one side of that camera lens or the other, okay? You don't want to look directly, like we did, Tamsin, when we were coaching James, okay?
yeah.
You have to be, we don't want him looking directly in the camera. We want him looking to one side or the other, doesn't matter which one, okay? And but never be giving us profile, which does not work, and never looking directly into the camera.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. All righty. We shall move on then to Stephen and Zishan. Let me get the scene. You guys can take your time because I have to get the scene. And I don't have my other computer here yet, so it takes me a while.
Jock,
Yeah. Yeah.
could I get a second entrance? Could I get a second action on my entrance, or?
Yeah, hang on. I got to get to the scene
Okay.
and let me see. What page does it start on?
Oh, what was it? So like, I think it was 123.
Oh my God, John Wick's is long, isn't it? It has
It's a
too many.
long movie.
It has. They shoot more bullets than any other film ever done, but that's okay.
Yeah.
123. Okay, this is between Kane and John. Is
Yeah.
that right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just remind me, who's Kane again?
The blind one, Donnie Yen.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay, 135. Let me get that set up. 26. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool. Now, you guys, remind me how you do. You have to pin the other person, right? Is that what we do? Yeah?
Yeah.
What?
Okay, so if I disappear, you can see each other, right?
Yeah.
And say something, Stephen.
Hello.
The other you don't disappear when the other person talks, right? Does he disappear when you talk?
I just have him on always.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Same.
that's good. That's good. That's what we want.
Got it.
Okay. But I have to, okay. Go there, I think. Oh, I gotta check my view. I haven't done this in a while, guys, and it's a new computer. Oh, I know what I have to do. There we go. I got it. Okay. Okay, we're ready.
Yep.
And again, I will call, this is a scene, so I will call action. You're both all set already. Moment before is in place. Ready? Action. Action.
For your wife.
Yes.
Do you think she can hear you?
No.
Then why bother?
Maybe I'm wrong.
The dead are gone. Memories. Only the living matter. When my daughter was born, I tried to leave this life. And then the high table reminded me.
Ah, they do
There's-
that.
We're damned, you and I.
On that we agree.
But she's not. I won't enjoy taking your life, John. But if it means she lives, you're going to die.
Maybe not.
I missed you, John. It's nice to sit with a friend, isn't it?
And that's a cut, is it?
Yep.
Okay, how did that go? Yeah. Everybody hates that question. Technically, Zishan, if you can, oh, no, it's probably in your, no, we're gonna let it go. For the rest of us, it looks as though he's looking the wrong direction, but in his frame, you're not looking, you're looking in the correct direction, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 okay, that's fine. But for the rest of us, because of the mirror image of Zoom, it looks as though you're looking the wrong way, but that's, don't worry about that. You have to do the
Oh,
one that
interesting.
works for you. Yeah, Zoom is a mirror.
Oh,
I like that. It's an interesting little scene, isn't it? Zishan, I would turn up. We are, again, we're in the third act. We're very close to the end, right? And I think for the first time, what we want to see in this, or feel, we don't want to see it, is how he's here, obviously, because he's not sure this time, right?
Yeah.
And so there is a need to say, just in case, goodbye, right?
Yeah.
That's what the scene is about. And in fact, you are the driver of the scene, even though you have less lines.
Hmm.
I'd like to see you go too far in that direction,
Sure.
okay? Of really, and then adding the cover. It's good. What you're doing is very good, but it's almost like I need the trouble that's underneath the cover to be even more.
Okay.
Okay. I won't see it with this character, maybe. Okay. Ultimately. But for this take, I don't care if I see it or not. I want you to go too far with the people. And it's not just saying goodbye, it's the people you have hurt or your wife, okay, for not being there. It's almost asking for atonement more than just saying goodbye. It's all kinds of things. I want to see how many layers, like we worked with Rachel. I want to see how many different layers you can put in there. Does that make
Sure.
sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Stephen, on your side, why are you in the scene?
I think it's more than just goodbye. He's agreed to go dual. It's really it is atonement. It's an apology scene because he's essentially betraying his friendship.
In a way, but
Yeah.
what else? There's a lot more layers going on in this character. There's two things you're doing. You're pausy as hell. So
Yeah.
that means you're not connected. Okay.
Yeah.
Permission to say a line comes from the other person.
Yep.
Got it?
Yep.
Whether you can see or not. Okay. You got it?
Yeah.
And also remember that on a set, the glasses that you would be wearing look as though they're totally black and you can't see, but in fact, you would be able to see.
Right.
Okay. Almost always. It's rare that they'll actually have the black, that they actually don't want you to see anything. That's very rare on a set.
Right.
Because it will fuck up your equilibrium. It'll fuck up how your brain works, and it can create more problems for you to access the character.
Sure.
Okay. So
Okay.
most of the time they're going to use the glasses that allow you to vaguely see what's going on. But otherwise, if we black out both eyes, your mind will overreact to that.
Okay.
Unless you want to be that way every day, like Daniel Day-Lewis, then, you know, you're going to fuck up the rest of your life. But
I'll pass. Thank you.
So I want you to be connected to him, and I want you to understand that permission to say my line comes from the other person. It does not come from me. All right.
Okay.
And if you were to pause that long, you kill the connection with the other person, and the scene and the next line becomes all about you. And it's never all about you. It's about
Right.
him. So you're going to discover more things, more layers in the scene. That's why connection's so important. The layers come from the connection. They don't come from an actor artificially putting layers in front, okay? It's
Right.
going to come for Zishan in the layers that he puts in his relationship to his wife. The great things, the horrible things, and everything else. Now, I don't have to actually think about that. That, again, uses the wrong part of my mind. It loses my intellect. I just have to let my imagination go. Just say her name, and your imagination is going to create all these little movies about you and her and what you did that was good, what you did that was bad. The actor does not have to work at that. It's an automatic imaginative ability that we all have. Okay. So it's the same with you. You're going to discover that there's more going on here than you thought. There's more of a journey, Stephen. But basically, if you come in with one idea about the scene, you will be the same at the beginning as you are in the middle, as you are in the end. Okay. Yeah. Stephen, as we can tell from his reaction, loves to beat himself up. So that's fine if that's what he needs to do. Okay. But no.
Okay.
Just understand, and we don't have to know logically why. Oh, is this a apology scene? Is this an atonement scene? Is that we don't have to know that, okay? We just have to connect our heart to the other person, all right? And surrender to the character. The character makes everything happen, not the actor, okay? So back to 1. Cool. And I'm going to give you a while, Zishan, before I say action. I don't care. You can do whatever you want. Ready. Action. I'm going to cut. Stephen, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Did you hear me say action?
Yeah. Is it just one action, or is there going to be a second one?
Oh, you want a second action?
If that's if whatever you prefer.
Okay. Okay, let's go back to 1.
Thank you.
I will give second action.
Thank you.
Ready. Action. Second action.
For your wife.
Yes.
Do you think she can hear you?
No.
Then why bother?
Maybe I'm wrong.
The dead are gone. Memories. Only the living matter. When my daughter was born, I tried to leave this life. And then the high table reminded me,
They do that.
what damned you and I.
On that we agree.
But she's not. I won't enjoy taking your life, but if it means she lives, you're going to die.
Maybe not.
I've missed you, John. It's nice to sit with a friend. Isn't it?
And cut. Okay, Stephen, it's
Yes.
not connected. Okay?
Okay.
You have to connect to him even more, right? When you come in, got it?
Yeah.
I don't know why you're come in, okay? I don't know why you're here, got it?
Got it.
But you do, he does, okay?
Yeah.
And that has to be pretty big, got it?
Yeah.
Then why bother? You're okay up to then. He lights the candle, that's fine. He says, maybe I'm wrong, okay? And now you get into your overacting. Now you get into, oh, the dead are gone, memories, okay? Just say it.
Yeah.
The problem is with this little part is you don't have a wife and you don't have a daughter, okay?
Okay.
If they were real here, as soon as you say, is that for your wife, right?
Yeah.
And he says, yes. This now is like a 5-person scene, okay?
Yeah.
Because not only are the two of you in it, but your wives are in it and your children are in the scene. Got it?
Yeah.
And so that's the thing that you're missing here. As soon as you ask him, is that for your wife? And he says, yeah, or yes. Yeah, he says, yes. Then your wife is in the scene too. So rather than being his psychiatrist and saying, you think she can hear you? It's almost like the person is asking, I wonder if my wife can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay? But if the wife and the child are not real, the scene does not work. The connection that happens here is two people with two wives, okay? And that's the thing that makes the scene take off. It's about your relationship with those that, with the most important people in your life that you took for granted. And you both share that, which is why at the end, they're going to sit down together and say, yeah, we're both fucked up. We're both damned. But it is good to sit with somebody, you know, that's been through the same thing. Got it?
Yeah.
That's story. Okay. The rest of the stuff that you're saying is plot. Okay. Plot is written on the page. It's unimportant to the actor. It's the story that's important. And I don't, did I come into, I haven't seen this scene before. Okay. it just occurred to me as I'm watching this and I'm saying, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? The story isn't there.
Yep.
The story is how the human heart changes. All right. So that's a thing that's got, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. And then it's almost like rationalizing, Stephen, when you go, yeah, the dead are gone. They're just memories. Okay. He wishes he could believe that. Okay. Part of him does. Remember, the thing that makes us human, the thing that an AI will never be able to do is conflict. Okay. Is the idea of one thing, right and wrong, good, bad, okay? It's the fact that both of them are absolutely active and in power in the character. One is winning by a fraction. That's all it is. And if we can get that conflict turned up, like believing that she can hear me and then going, that's ridiculous, okay? Or anything else. The plot is telling you, Zishan, that is telling you the conflict because it's the first time we're going to hear this character use the word maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay. So that's the clue that he's in more trouble than maybe he's going to show. Okay. So those are just little things that hit me as I'm watching both of you. So when you get only the living matter, which is true, and both of you know that's true, but also it's kind of sad. And then after my daughter was born, and I had no idea, and neither do you, who your daughter was and what that was like, okay? Watching her being born, okay? Holding her for the first time, seeing her look into your eyes, okay? That's my imagination just now going crazy, okay? I did have a daughter, so it's probably, okay? But that's the thing that's, I don't want to use that. I'm just thinking, in fact, I didn't. I had another daughter that I was holding in my hands, okay? As I'm saying those things, but that's the thing that's going on. I tried to leave this life, okay? Yeah, but the table yeah. So there's lots of things going on in here. There's bounces from one thing to the other, and that's what I need you to get to, Stephen, okay? Right now, it's pretty much the same all the way through. And then, yeah. And then if there is a confession in the scene, it might be, we're damned, you and I, okay? Which it isn't a question, but it's close to a question, okay? It is absolutely a statement, but it's one of those in the moment statements, Stephen, the one thing you're learning in Shakespeare is how important being in the moment is.
Yeah.
Shakespeare only works if you're in the moment. So be in the moment with this time, okay? All you need to know about why you're in the scene, I desperately need John Wicks, and I have no freaking clue why. But I just know I desperately need to be there. Okay, got it? That's
Yep.
all you need to know about any scene. Let's go back to the beginning. So Zishan, don't forget that. That was a good adjustment, okay? In this particular scene, you have that much room, all right? I think when we get to the third act, remember something, I don't know if I ever told you this, but remember in the third act, the covers are pretty much gone. Our cover, our persona that we present to the world is pretty much gone. So you do have freedom in this one, and it's why the scene's here. It gives us a chance, and the actor in the film didn't quite do this, but it gives us the chance to realize, oh, he does have a heart. Okay?
Right.
Not that he tells us that, not that he does, but I can feel it. That's the importance of this scene. I can feel the trouble. I don't have to see it, but I can feel the trouble that John Wicks is in the first time, okay, that we've ever seen that. Got it?
Got it.
And it's also the type of guy and the work that he does that he knows when he's in that kind of trouble, the odds of him being killed greatly increase, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I want to tell you. I want you to forget that. You've got the character, okay? You've got his heart, And now, yeah, we just wanted to get rid of the cover and see what's underneath that. And in third act, you have absolute freedom to do that. Back to 1. Okay, I'll give ready, but I'm probably going to take my time before I say the first action, just so you both know. Okay, ready. First action. Second action.
For your wife?
Yes.
Do you think that she can hear you?
Okay, cut.
Yeah.
Stephen, you had permission to say that line as the character before you said it. You held him back.
I felt that.
Okay? No. When the impulse to speak comes, it comes from our imagination, our intuitive, our creativity. When the muscle comes, the actor must follow. When the impulse to say a line comes, you better say it. Okay?
Yeah.
That was going very well. We even saw your mouth open, and then you held him back. Connection dies.
Good.
Back to 1. Ready? First action. Second action.
For your wife?
Yes.
Do you think that she can hear you?
No.
Then why bother?
Don't cut, keep going. Stephen, that was an impulse to move in, move in.
Maybe I'm wrong.
The dead don't matter.
No cut. Sitting down was not an impulse, it was an idea.
No.
Back to 1. Ready. First action. Second action.
For your wife?
Yes.
Do you think she can hear you?
No.
So why bother?
Yeah. Maybe maybe I'm wrong.
The dead don't matter. They're just memories.
And cut. Okay, so changing the script is going to change the story
Yeah.
in this case. Got it? It starts right at the beginning. You think she can hear you. That was going well. No.
Yeah.
Okay. Then why bother? Not so why bother? Okay. Very different sentences. You think there, no, that's close enough. No, it's not. Okay. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm wrong. The dead are gone. Memories. Okay. Got it? The reason that line got messed up is, again, you had the impulse to say the line and you held it back. And that's kind of the way this part of our brain works. It's going to go, well, okay, then fuck him. And it's going to mess up the line.
Yeah.
Back to 1. Follow him. Stop trying to act. Follow him. The character does the work after somebody says action, not the actor. The actor has to stop working. Back to 1, ready. Action. Second action.
For your wife.
Yes.
Do you think that she can hear you?
No. Stephen, you got to surrender to the scene and the character. You have to give up, okay?
Okay.
You think she can hear you is not the same as do you think she can hear you, okay? 1 is directed at him. Do you think she can hear you? 1 is shared with him. You think she can hear you?
Yeah.
Back to 1. Ready. Action 1. Action 2.
For your wife.
Yes.
You think she can hear you?
No.
Then why bother?
Maybe I'm wrong.
The dead are gone. Memories. Only the living matter.
Back it up. Cut the picture. Stage directions no longer matter. Nope, stay where you are. Stay back where you were. Stage directions no matter. They don't matter after action.
Okay.
Okay, got it? But if we have an actor doing a stage, thing, stage business, after action, it'll be a disconnect.
Yes.
Is there a way it could work? Yes, but no, right now it's a stage direction that the actor is following. No, I want you to just take it from the dead are gone memories. Okay. We're going to take it from there and see what happens. And ready, action, ready? We already lit the candle, action.
The dead are gone. Memories. Only the living matter. When my daughter was
We're
born,
going to take it again from the same spot. 3 impulses to say this line and you held them back.
Yeah.
Surrender, surrender. Think of Zishan, okay? Think of John. You're trying to help him. You're trying to get him to help you. You need to say these things. You're not even sure if they're correct, but you need to see what John thinks about what you're saying. You need to feel his reaction to what you're saying. Same spot, ready?
the dead are
just-
gone.
You got to wait for action always. Be very careful about that on set, everybody, okay? Because an actor's starting before action, well, sometimes it depends. Clint Eastwood, it would work. Never mind. Ready. Action.
The dead are gone. Memories. Only the living matter.
Don't break, say it again. From your heart, from him, not from you. Go.
The dead are gone. Memories. Only the living matter. When my daughter was born, I tried to leave this life. And then the high table reminded me.
They do that.
We're damned. You and I.
On that we agree.
But she's not. I won't enjoy taking your life, John. But if it means saving hers, you're going to die.
Maybe not.
I've missed you, John. It's good sitting with a friend.
Say that line again. Stop acting.
It's good sitting with a friend. Isn't it?
Say it again, even less acting.
It's good sitting with a friend. Isn't it?
Look straight ahead. Now say it. Throw it away. Throw it away.
It's good sitting with a friend. Isn't it?
And hot. Oh, Zishan, you've got him now. You feeling the difference? You feeling the little things that are happening?
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
that maybe word.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we definitely, at the end, you said, yes, did you added that, right?
Yeah, and I was
That was
just
perfect. That was
Like,
perfect.
letting go some more, I think that helps.
Yeah, yeah. Letting go is the big thing. Because that would be added, that would be in. Because of the moment when he sits down, and if he just says that line, it's good to be with, friends, isn't it? Then yes, it's almost you become the finishing line. Okay. But in that take, we don't know. We're going to do it again. That was better, Stephen. You have to give up. Okay.
Sure.
Right before they say action, Stephen needs to say, I suck at acting, so I'm going to give up.
Yep.
Okay? And let the character go. Let's do
Okay.
one more. I'm not going to interrupt this one. Now, in terms of timing and pace, which everybody will think, oh, we're working on pace and timing. Bullshit. All we're working on is connection. If the other person is more important than I am, the pace and the timing happens without effort. Okay? So that's a thing that has to happen. Ready. First action. Second action.
For your wife.
Yes.
Do you think that she can hear you?
No.
Then why bother?
Well, maybe maybe I'm wrong.
The dead are gone. Memories. Only the living matter. When my daughter was born, I tried to leave this life. And the high table reminded me.
On that we agree. Well, they do that.
We're damned, you and I.
On that we agree.
But she's not. I won't enjoy taking your life, John, but if it means she lives, you're going to die.
Maybe not.
It's good to sit with a friend, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cut. Okay, lines were a little all over. That's okay. You're going to die. Maybe not. I've missed you, John. You left out that line.
Chet.
Okay. Now, the reason we do that is because we're not really connected. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're still not. Towards the end, you're not connected. I want everybody to understand, like I always say, actors never forget. I mean, an actor has never forgotten a line. They've forgotten who they are and what they're doing there. Okay, they forget the connection, and as soon as you forget the connection, your brain is not going to waste time saying something that is unnecessary. Okay, it doesn't do that. It'll mess up the line. You'll go blank. It'll do all kinds of things, but it is not going to say something that isn't necessary. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's a thing that you have to understand. So here's the thing that happens. Are you aware of him and what's happening to him, Stephen, towards the end? When he says they do that, We're damned, you and I. And after that, he says, on that, we can agree. What's going on with him, with John? What is physically going on with John? Don't give me an analytical bullshit answer. What is he physically doing?
I don't
And
know.
yeah, he's blind, but you can still hear. What is he physically doing?
He's getting quieter.
No, he isn't, as a matter of fact, which absolutely proves that you're not connected. He was laughing.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's not, oh yeah, it's I
Okay.
wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to pay attention to him. There's humor in every scene you ever do, even in third act scenes. Okay,
Yeah.
like we found that in Rachel, you know, when Rachel was doing that, there was humor in that scene. Now there's humor in this one. He's going, yeah, you know, and you can enjoy the humor, right?
Yeah.
In fact, the screenwriter's even saying at one point that you smile. I don't know if you smile then or not, but he's just reminding you to enjoy the humor.
Right.
Okay, let's go back to 1. Connect your heart to the man you need most in your life. Connect your heart because of the trouble you're going through. Everybody in the world will do a scene like I'm in control and I can just do the scene, and they'll play plot and no story will happen. I want you to understand you desperately need to connect with John because you can't go on. You can't kill him. Back to 1. Ready? Action. Second action.
For your wife.
Yes.
You think she can hear you?
No.
So why bother?
Maybe I'm wrong.
The dead are gone. Memories. Only the living matter. When my daughter was born, I tried to leave this life. And then the high table reminded me.
No. They do that.
We're damned, you and I.
On that, we agree.
She's not. I won't enjoy killing you, John. But if it means saving her life, you're gonna die.
Maybe not.
I've missed you, John. It's good to sit with a friend, isn't it?
Mm.
Cool. Better. We're going to go right to 1. When he says maybe not, that's John Wick, right? You're going to die. Oh, no, maybe not. Okay. I want you to enjoy that, Stephen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really enjoy it. Follow his physical impulses. You're still holding him back.
Yeah.
Oh, Zishan, you're discovering lots of neat things. This is cool. Okay. Back to one. Ready. Action. Second action.
For your wife.
Yes.
You think she can hear you?
No.
So why do you bother?
Back to one. You don't come in the same way you did the time before, Stephen. Okay, it won't work. Okay, I don't know how you'll come in. Doesn't matter. Okay. You think she can? You think she can hear you? No. Then why bother? Okay. There's an impulse that has come on that line, all three takes, and you're not following it. Okay. Will you just surrender and let him go? Get back in your place. Don't ever do that on a set. Go back to your place. Go back. Go back. Okay. Let's do it again. And just let him go. He's there. I want you just to throw the scene away. Okay. Got it? Throw the lines away. Just be in the trouble of a man who needs his best friend. All right. To help him through this difficult thing. You're not going to be able to do this without your friend. Back to one. Ready. Action. Second action.
For your wife.
Yes.
You think she can hear you?
No.
So why bother?
Maybe I'm wrong.
The dead are gone. Memories. Only the living matter. When my daughter was born, I tried to leave this life. And the high table reminded me.
You do that.
We're damned, you and I.
On that, we agree.
But she's not. I won't enjoy taking your life, John. But if it means she lives, you're going to die.
Maybe not.
I've missed you, John. It's good to sit with a friend, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Cut. One more from the top. Surrender, Stephen.
Okay.
Okay, now, so when we make line changes, Stephen, after my daughter was born, okay,
Yeah.
is light years away from when my daughter was born, two entirely different
You're right.
periods of time. Ready. I'm just going to say action. And when I do, Stephen, you can kind of enter.
Yeah. Got it.
Ready. Action.
For your wife?
Yes.
You believe she can hear you?
No.
So why bother?
Then why bother?
Then why bother?
Back it up. Stephen, back to the top. Nope, you're holding him back.
Yeah.
Surrender to the character. Let him go. You can see Sean, okay? So I do want you to take your time, okay? Be connected to him. Ready. Action.
For your wife?
Yes.
You think she can hear you?
No.
So why bother?
Maybe I'm wrong.
The dead are gone. Memories. Only the living matter.
That's overacting, Stephen.
Yeah.
Say it again. The dead are gone, only memories. Go.
The dead are gone. Memories. Only the living matter. When my daughter was born,
After my daughter was born, back to the same spot. The dead are gone, memories.
the dead are gone. Memories. Only the living matter.
Cut. Acting. Let that line come right away. Let's go.
After my
Ready.
daughter was born,
Back to one. Back to the spot. No, not back to one. All right, let's go back to one. Stephen, you've got to give up.
Yeah.
You've got to stop acting.
yeah,
Ready. Action.
for your wife,
Yes.
you think she can hear you?
No.
So why bother?
Maybe I'm Maybe I'm wrong.
Dead or gone. Memories. Only the living matter. After my daughter was born, I tried to leave this life. And then the high table reminded me.
They do that.
We're damned, you and I.
On that we agree.
But she's not. I won't enjoy taking your life, John. But if it saves hers, you're going to die.
Maybe not.
I've missed you, John. It's nice to sit with a friend, isn't it?
And cut. There you go. Back to the beginning, Stephen. Don't do it that way.
Okay.
Zishan, cool, directing a little bit. At the beginning, I will do two actions. After the beginning, I like, there's some takes where you take in the environment. I just want to see one where you do that again.
All right.
Ready? Action. Second action.
For your wife.
Yes.
You think she can hear you?
No.
So I bother.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Dead or gone. Memories. Only the living matter. After my daughter was born, I tried to leave this life. And then the high table reminded me.
They do that.
We're damned, you and I.
On that we agree.
But she's not. I won't enjoy taking your life, John. But if she lives, you're going to die.
Maybe not.
I missed you, John. It's nice to sit with a friend, isn't it?
And cut. Cool. Okay. That now here's Interesting. Very interesting. Zishan, that's great. All right. You got him once you got him, right? At the beginning, I think you were a little worried about cover, or maybe you didn't have enough of the conflict going on. Okay. But now we see it. Now it's there. You have wonderful little moments that have nothing to do with the lines. Okay. And that's where we want to get you. So whatever you did to make that happen, I mean, remember that. That's where you need to go in all of these. And it was good because we did many, many takes and you stayed with him. You stayed in there and you stayed with him. And that could happen on a set. Okay. I mean, I'm coaching more than anything, but there could be technical things. There could be camera stuff. There could be all kinds of things. And you hung right with him. Okay. That's a great thing. That's good. The only it's the take I'm probably going to use is the one where the match wouldn't light. Okay. Because you lit one, it didn't work. You lit another, I think you lit 3. Okay.
Yeah.
And then finally you said, maybe I'm wrong. And then after you said that, the match lit.
Yeah.
That moment, okay, which isn't in the text, it'll never happen again, but that was priceless. It's
Yeah, I like
almost like the universe isn't going to let you light the match until you say, maybe I'm wrong. You know, it was priceless. It was wonderful. So
Okay.
that's the one we'll be using. Always remember, this is something that you need to really think about, Stephen, in a lot of your work. There is humor in every scene. I want you to start to think the next scene or the next thing we work on, that it's a comedy. Okay.
Got
You
it.
stay so deadly serious, it can become monotonous to your audience. Okay.
Okay.
So this time, now the time before he didn't laugh, so that's two. This time he laughed. Did you hear him laugh?
Yeah.
Your character would react to that, but
Oh.
Stephen, the actor, will not allow him to.
Oh, I thought I did.
No, you didn't.
Oh boy.
So that's the other thing you need to do is you need to look at every scene as if it's a comedy, because you're not allowed to laugh.
Okay.
Something in you allow you to laugh when you're acting. So we got to break that.
Okay.
Got it?
Yep.
Because yeah, there's humor at the end of the scene, and that's what we need. All right. It kind of worked because he was kind of laughing and you kind of shut him down this time when you said, but she's not. Okay.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it kind of worked. All right. But then when he says, maybe not, I gave you 3 notes to try to get you to find that amusing. It's yeah. That's him. That's John Wicks. Okay. But the thing you try to do, Stephen, is you try to remember that I have to do this, or remember that I have to do that. Okay. And as soon as you do that, you cut off your connection, you cut off your creativity, and you cut off your imagination.
Right.
Okay. So you need to hear the notes that I give you, and then you need to forget them.
Got it.
Okay. You need to forget them. The character does notes. The actor does not. Okay.
Yep.
And that was good. There were wonderful little moments here. I love, the matches thing was priceless. It's like I could see everybody on a set looking and just going thumbs up, like, oh my God, the matches. Yeah. and those are those moments that are precious. Okay. And you have to go with them. And you were able to do that in every take. You kind of let them go. At the end, no, I like it. The other thing is taking in the environment. You did that at in the first few takes. You kind of were looking at the ceiling or whatever you're seeing. That's always a good thing to do, because it places the audience right in there with you as well. A lot of things, and I like the fact that you hear Stephen or you kind of see him, and it catches you off guard. You kind of have to get yourself together and you adjust your coat. You know, I don't, if you're aware of that.
It wasn't.
Huh? No, you
I
didn't
wasn't.
even, you have to. You have to.
Okay.
Okay. Because we can say the guy's blind. Well, that means he has hypersensitive hearing. He would hear him move in this chair. He would hear him adjust his coat. Okay.
Right.
So we can't play, I'm just going to be blind. Got it?
Right.
Which is why you could see that. And you came in with your line before it was time sometimes, you know, for your wife, before you had let him settle.
Okay.
Okay. He's reacting to the fact you're there. You have to be aware of that. Okay.
Okay.
If nothing else, Stephen, the other person does your scene, not Stephen. Okay.
Got it.
You really got to surrender to that. All right.
Mhm.
Because you've got all this stuff going, and we see that in the Shakespeare class a lot. But we can't, you know, you've got to be able to do that on your own, to surrender to the character, to be in the moment, to not know what's going to happen. Okay.
Right.
Because we can't take this many takes to get an actor into the scene.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So the big thing is to really, before you act, every single scene, for you to say, fuck it, I suck at acting. Okay. I give up. Literally, you're going to have to say that. Okay, to yourself, and then just blow it off. Then just say, I don't care. Okay, and see what happens. Because we're hyper the other way. You're so concerned about doing a good job. You're so concerned about doing it right, that the only person that can show up is Stephen and not Kane. Okay, so really concentrate on that. But you got it towards the last couple of takes. And that's basically what I'm doing, is what Kubrick used to do. I'm doing it over and over and over and over until you give up and get out of the way.
Got it.
Okay. But you've got to, we don't have the money that Kubrick had. Okay. So you've got to be able to do that yourself right away. Give up and let it go. Trust, everybody, trust that I've done my preparation. That's the only work an actor does, is preparation. Okay. You trust that you've explored all these things. For you, Stephen, you need to always go back to the script and make sure you're being line perfect. The changes you're making are not correct.
Yep.
Right? Remember what I learned on a set the hard way. If I have the heart of the character and I've connected to the other person like my life depends on it, okay, then everything I do will be fine. All right. And on the set, the director will give me the freedom to just go. If I add lines, if I forget lines, like Zishan at the end, in some takes added, yes, it is, isn't it? Okay. And in those takes, when he did that, it worked because it was the character doing it. Got it? But if you don't have the character and you don't have the story, the director will put the script supervisor on you and make you be word perfect. All right. You need to do that on your own. You need to practice word perfect. Like Shakespeare, you can't get away with that at all. So you need to apply that to everything you do. In your preparation, word perfect, word perfect, word perfect. Okay.
Mhm.
Because the changes you're making, they change the story. There was just I love the humor that you find at the end and some of the takes, right? You're really good at letting each take be what it wants to be, Zishan, and that's great. That's fine. You give the director, I remember an editor saying to me, you know, as an editor, I paint with film. I need your actors to give me as many colors as they can. And that's what you're doing. You're good at that. So keep doing that. Just be aware of, you know, I would play around with opposites with you, like on your own, if you're going to do, if you run the lines on your own out loud and you're walking around and stuff or sitting down. If you do that as part of your preparation, play around with going in exactly the opposite direction of what you did in the first take.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to kind of, it didn't take long. You were able to break out of the cover idea very quickly.
Yeah.
So I'm not really concerned about that, but be aware of playing around with as many different choices as you can so that you really don't know how you're going to start the scene or what's going to happen.
All
Okay.
right.
It's at the beginning of that first take, you were a little aware of where you wanted it to go. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Let go of that. You don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. It's kind of like hanging on to your blankie. You don't need the blankie anymore. Okay. I got it. Let it go. But nice work. That's good. And we got there at the end, Stephen. That's the thing to do. But that's the thing that we're worried. Well, you know, you've been rewarded too many times for doing things correctly or getting an A or something like that. And you have to understand that my job as an acting coach, okay, because you're going to get there. I have no question. You're going to get there. I've seen you do it, right?
Yeah.
My job as an acting coach with you is to give Stephen as many fucking Fs as I can. Okay. So he realized, okay, I'm just going to
Okay.
fail. I'm just going to fail anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay. You haven't failed enough. I like that. I think that was cool, guys. That was nice work. Hanging in there no matter what, Zishan, and every take is different. You didn't even get tired too, maybe a little in the last couple. Okay. But you know, depend on the character, wipe the slate clean. It's never happened before, and here we go for take, you know, 30 or however. You guys have any questions?
No, no, I'm good.
Whoa. Anybody else have any questions? Nope, nope. Cool. Okay, so now we move on.
Thanks very much.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome.
Thank
A
you.
pleasure to work with you again. I hope we can do it more too, Zishan. And anytime you want coaching and stuff, let me know.
Absolutely.
And back to, I have to get this one. Okay, Tamsin.
Okay, so I sent you multiple. I was so indecisive. So the one I just sent you now is the one I'm doing.
Okay, I'm going to remind you, right, that your first impression always comes from the intuition, always comes from why? Oh, because I still have you two pinned. Remove the pin. Okay, hang on. I have to remove some pins here. No, we haven't done this in a while. Remove the pin. Okay. There. Okay. Now we're kind of back. All right. I just want to remind you that your first intuition about what you're going to do or how you're going to do it, okay, is always the correct one. And the second one and the third one and the fourth one will catch you further away from where you need to be. Okay. Let's see now. I need to find your script here. The one that you just sent. Okay.
From the accused.
No, I don't have anything from the accused.
Oh, in an attachment. The did you let me see.
Okay, when guys, always remember to stick with the email that we're working with. Okay, you sent it to another email.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I sent it to
No, I got it.
Strayon. Strayon. Okay, let me forward it to.
No, I've got it.
Oh, you got it. Okay. Sorry. Okay.
The okay. Can you get rid of the screen? It's very distracting.
This?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just that your frame on Zoom is much bigger frame.
Is the screen still there or is this okay?
Hang on. Yeah, we're gonna have to go with that. No, it's really not okay. Remember, you know, what Ellen Parks, a casting director, big casting director, she said, you've got to tell these people to stop worrying about the goddamn screen. She said, I'm so sick of seeing green screens. Okay. And it's basically, yeah, I don't care who's telling you, oh, you need a background, you need all this stuff. Most casting directors are saying that's bullshit. Okay. You just need a background that looks realistic and just don't have anything that's going to distract me. But right now we have the painting, which is going to distract us. So put the screen back in place. Okay. The problem is that your frame on Zoom is a big frame. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing this ridiculous oval thing behind you.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, can you move your camera closer at all? This is good for everybody. We need to be aware and we need to practice a lot with our setups so that we, you know, when it's time to do a self-tape, we've got that all set. Okay, this is. Okay. Ready. And we can all disappear, including me. I gotta go here. Hang on. Okay, ready. And action.
You still there? I mean, you're very much there. Yeah.
Ready. Action.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paulson has told you that the testimony of Sarah Tobias is nothing. Sarah Tobias was raped, but that is nothing. She was cut and bruised and terrorized, but that is nothing. All of it happened in front of a howling crowd, and that is nothing. Well, it may be nothing to Mr. Paulson, but it is not nothing to Sarah Tobias. And I don't believe that it is nothing to you. Next, Mr. Paulson tried to convince you that Kenneth Joyce was the only person in that room who knew that Sarah Tobias was being raped. The only one. Now, you watched Kenneth Joyce. How did he strike you? Did he seem especially observant? Especially sensitive? Did he seem so remarkable that you immediately said to yourselves, of course, this man would notice things other people wouldn't? Do you believe that these three men saw something others didn't? Do you believe that Kenneth Joyce saw something that these three men didn't see? And all that time, Sarah Tobias was being held down on that pinball machine. The others didn't know. Kenneth Joyce confessed to you that he watched a rape and did nothing. He told you that everyone in that bar behaved badly. He was right. But no matter how immoral it may seem, it is not the crime of criminal solicitation to watch a rape. It is not the crime of criminal solicitation to walk away from a rape. But it is the crime of criminal solicitation to entreat or encourage or persuade another person to commit a rape. Hold her down, give it to her, make her moan. These three men did worse than nothing. They cheered and they clapped and they rooted the others on. Now tell me, is that nothing?
Okay, now, why did you pick this one?
Well, because the other two, I was so indecisive with the other two, and I'd done this one before, that's why. For dialect, I was doing it, I had worked on this one specifically for dialect, so I hadn't, which is, and with acting. But that's why, because any of my other monologues, I've outgrown them. And the two that I was being indecisive about, I just didn't feel I was prepared.
Okay, so this one of the three choices is probably not the best, okay? The first one is probably the best.
That was, the first one was the one from the Harper one, or the
Harper, Angels in America.
Harper? Yeah.
That would have been a great choice for you to work on,
Okay,
okay?
next time I'm doing that one.
The second one was easy. That was an easy choice. You thought this would be an easy choice, but in fact, it's very complicated. It's very disjointed. It's not a very good monologue, okay?
Yeah, I didn't like the writing as I started.
And this one you went to because you thought, well, I've done this one before, so it should be good, but it's not. Okay, got it?
Yeah.
So for more than anything, I want you, I'm sure, you know, you still paint. Do you still paint?
Yeah.
Yeah, you still paint, right? So when you paint, are you self-criticizing yourself? Are you worried about how you're going to do it? Are you afraid that you might do it wrong?
Yes, yes.
Okay, well then I want you to not do that when you're acting, okay? Because you made a choice in the last minute to switch to this one, okay? This is a defense mechanism that you think you're moving into safe area, when actually as an actor, we need to want to move into the most dangerous area. And the first monologue was the most dangerous for you. Okay, but you avoided that. Okay. Yes. But now we can either work on this one if you want to, because this one is pretty much a mess. We can work on this one. And then maybe, hopefully we can do this. Here's the thing that's good. You have a very special quality that's a gold mine, okay? It's kind of this insecurity kind of thing, okay? Energy that you apply to most characters, okay? That's valuable. Every character needs to be somewhat insecure on some level, whether they mask it or where they put persona over that needs to be there. So that's a gift that you have, all right? But you've got to trust the fact that it's never going to feel right. Probably the same way you do with painting, okay? It's never going to look right, okay? You've got to trust that for creativity, and for most people, that's the way it feels, okay? And you've got to get away from trying to do it easy or trying to do it correctly or anything like that. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. So this one can work, but it can only work if we apply to this everything that needs to be in there that we've seen in the other work so far, okay? We need to have a moment before, and you don't, okay? We need to understand who these people are. None of them are very clear to you, okay? And so we have it's a lot of work that has to be put on this. We can't suddenly switch at the last moment and say, oh, I'll do this. The work that an actor does is preparation. Got it? Now, if you're doing 3 movies a year and a TV show, okay, Preparation will be cut down to a very, very small amount of time. But if you're not acting every single day, then you really got to make sure that you put the preparation in. You've got to do this multiple times. You've got to sue it. You've got to imagine who the jury is. You got to have in that jury one person that you know is on your side, or two or three, and two or three that are not on your side, that are on the other guy's side, okay? And you've got to have a few that are indecisive. Got it? Now, do I have to know them? Do I have to point it out as I'm doing the monologue? No, but you have to know them and you have to know who they are, where they are. Got it? You chose those 12 people. You chose them, so you know them. Right now, they're just a generalized bunch of people. All right? So if that's the case, if you're just speaking generally to a crowd of people, the crowd of people will get bored. So you have lost the audience that you depend on, which is the jury. Got it?
Right.
So I want you down now. What is the moment before? Have you see? Because here's
I've
the
just
thing.
heard Mr. Paulson, I've been listening to him, the other lawyer, do his talk to the jury.
Yeah, that's good, right? Because I wouldn't know that from reading the plot, would I?
Well,
Yes, I would know that from reading
Yeah.
the plot. So you just gave me a plot answer, and I want my actors to give me story answers,
oh,
right?
yes.
So as Mr. Paulson is doing what the plot says, he's giving his dissertation. What is going on in your character?
I'm getting really more and more triggered by the fight for Sarah and the audacity of this man to come in and say the things that he's saying. Like, it's more than I'm used to this in my job, except in Sarah's case, it just seems I'm trying hard not to be upset by what happened to Sarah.
Okay, none of that is really close to story, okay? It's again, we know that you're upset with what Mr. What's-his-name said because your whole monologue is about that. So again, that's plot, okay? So what would story be? Story is something very personal. It's something fairly deep in our mind. Now, remember, when I say mind, I'm speaking of the whole instrument, the body, the mind, the spirit, the toes, the physicality. The mind, as we know nowadays from neuroscience, is the whole human being. It's not just in the brain. So what is going on in the heart of your character as she's listening to Mr. whatever it is talk to the jury?
I am thinking that I'm the only person now who can actually make a difference in the world by helping Sarah.
Okay, you're close, okay, but you generalized it, okay? You kind of said, I'm the only person in the world. That's correct, okay? But to help the rest of the world, and you, as a footnote, you added the most important thing, Sarah. As you were watching Mr. What's-his-name do his final speech, how is it going for him?
Well, he's so confident and arrogant. It's
Doesn't
going really
matter,
well.
doesn't matter, doesn't matter. How is it going for him? In other words,
Well.
how is right?
Very
The jury is responding well, right? So as you're sitting there, what's the heart of that moment?
that I need to fight for Sarah because I'm fighting not just for her, but a whole bunch of other women that this could happen to.
Now you're editorializing as the audience, okay? Now you're doing something that the reviewer for TV Guide would do, okay? Now I have to do this for women around the world. Bullshit, okay? As you're sitting there, watching him point out the weaknesses in your defense, okay? Getting the jury to laugh, getting them to be on his side because of the mistakes that you have made. Okay, got it? You are watching him, and what is going to happen?
He's going to win. I should never have.
No.
I'm going to be more determined to, because I've made.
No. Okay, so here's the thing. The answer to these questions, it's never about you. It's never about your character. It'll be about the most important character in this whole story.
Sarah.
You have failed Sarah. And you're going to fail her again. Okay? That is the moment before.
Okay.
And that is the heart of the story. Why you are a lawyer, it's directly related to not failing, okay? How you want to help the world, that's all there, okay? But the very heart of this thing is the person sitting next to you on the table. You have failed her.
Okay.
And this is your last attempt to save her. And from what you just saw that lawyer do, your chances are slim. So your heart has to be in front of this jury, okay? And from your heart, you have to tell them these things, okay? Let's start again from the beginning. Action.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paulson has told you that the testimony of Sarah Tobias is nothing. Sarah Tobias was raped, but that is nothing.
Cut. Do it again. What's Sarah's Tobias like?
She's very young.
What else?
She's crushed because she was like, she's been crushed. She's bubbly and she's.
Can you see her?
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah, got it. Okay. So now when you come out, let's do it again.
Okay.
And action.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paulson has
No.
told. Oh,
Stand there. Look at the jury. Feel their energy. And now start.
ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paulson has told you that the testimony of Sarah Tobias is nothing. Sarah Tobias was raped, but that is nothing. She was cut and bruised and terrorized, and that is nothing. Well, it may be nothing to Mr. Paulson, but it is not nothing to Sarah Tobias.
Say
And
that again. No. Say that again and take your time. Where is Mr. Tobias? No, he's not in the jury. Where is he? He's sitting at his table, correct?
Yeah, in front of the jury.
No, he's, okay, so the layout of a courtroom would be very important too. Got it? Look to your right.
Okay, okay,
He's at his desk right there, okay?
okay.
Now, do I have to, I'm just telling you where he is because right now I'm not sure where he is. Got it? So tell him again. Mr. Tobias, take it from Mr. Tobias says the testimony. Okay, got it? Ready?
Yeah, got it.
Take it from there. Go.
But that's from the Mr. Tobias. No,
Take it
From
from the
where?
beginning.
from here. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paulson has told you that the testimony of Sarah Tobias is nothing. Sarah Tobias was raped, but that is nothing. She was cut and bruised and terrorized, but that is nothing. All of it happened in front of a howling crowd, but that is nothing.
Okay. If you yell at the jury, you're going to lose them. That's an actor's idea. Just tell them again. Just tell them again. The way you were doing it was very good. Just tell them. The howling thing. Take it right from there.
All of it happened in front of a howling crowd. Well, it may be nothing to Mr. Paulson, but it is not nothing to Sarah Tobias. Next, Mr. Paulson tried to convince you that Kenneth Joyce was the only person in that room who knew that Sarah Tobias was being raped. The only one. Now you watched Kenneth Joyce. How did he strike you? Did he seem especially observant, especially sensitive? Did you immediately say to yourselves, oh, of course, this man would notice things other people wouldn't?
Now do that again and don't belittle. You're belittling the jury. Don't belittle them. Okay, don't belittle them. Just tell them. And you have to pay attention. The thing that you lose there, if you get on a roll that you think works, got it, and it doesn't, okay, because you're not connected to your jury. Okay? So you're going to take it from Mr. Paulson tried to convince you that Kenneth Joyce.
Okay. Mr. Paulson tried to convince you that Kenneth Joyce was the only person in that room who knew that Sarah Tobias was being raped. The only one. Now you watched Kenneth Joyce. How did he strike you? Did he seem especially observant? Especially sensitive? Did you immediately say to yourselves, of course, this man would notice things other people wouldn't? Do you believe that Kenneth Joyce saw something these three men didn't see? In all that time, Sarah Tobias was being held down on that pinball machine. The others didn't know. Kenneth Joyce confessed to you that he watched a rape and did nothing. He told you that everyone in that bar behaved badly. He was right. But no matter how immoral it may seem, it is not the crime of criminal solicitation to watch a rape. It is not the crime of criminal solicitation to silently walk away from a rape. But it is the crime of criminal solicitation to entreat or encourage or induce or persuade another person to commit a rape. Hold her down.
You're going to get on a roll again and you're going to lose your, okay? Just tell them, but it is a criminal crime of solicitation. Tell them that thing and see if they're getting what you're saying, okay? If you get that much energy behind it, they'll dismiss you. Tell them that this is the crime. Tell them again, but it is the crime of solicitation. Take it right from there. Look at them right now. Now tell them.
But it is the crime of criminal solicitation to induce or encourage or persuade another person to commit a rape. Give it to her. Hold her down. Make her moan. These three men did worse than nothing. They rooted for her, they cheered, and they clapped the others on. Now tell me, is that nothing?
That's you lost lines there. Don't break. We can take it from these three men.
Did worse than nothing.
Yeah, take it from there. Now you got to get your lines. They didn't root her on, okay?
Oh, yeah.
They cheered, they clapped, they rooted, you know, on. They made sure that Terrace Tobias was, okay? Take it right from there.
These three men did worse than nothing. They cheered and they clapped and they rooted the others on. They made sure that Sarah Tobias was raped and raped and raped. Now tell me, is that nothing?
Cool, that's much better, okay? So for you, it's always about connection, all right? And you have, when you're connected, it's wonderful. Let's do it again from the top, okay? And just be very concerned that these people that are listening to you are getting what you're saying, okay? You can take as long as you want, but you need to make sure that they're getting what you don't have permission to move on unless you can see that they're getting it. They're starting to understand, okay? Ready? Right from the top.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paulson has told you that the testimony of Sarah Tobias is nothing.
No, you got to start again. You're a little too angry at the juries, okay? Got it? You don't have to look at Mr. Tobias on that one, okay? She might at some other point, but this is about your first initial connection to these 12 people, right? So you need to pay attention to them either on, okay, ladies and gentlemen, right?
Okay.
And then you need to tell them, here's what he's trying to do. Got it? And you
Right.
need to see how you need to connect with them in this first part. You don't have to look at Tobias. He's not important. You connecting your heart to each of these 12 people has got to happen or you're going to lose.
Okay.
Start whenever you want.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paulson has told you that the testimony of Sarah Tobias is nothing. Sarah Tobias was raped, but that is nothing. She was cut and bruised and terrorized, but that is nothing. All of it happened in front of a howling crowd, and that is nothing. Well, it may be nothing to Mr. Paulson, but it is not nothing to Sarah Tobias. And I don't believe it is nothing to you. Next, Mr. Paulson tried to convince you that Kenneth Joyce was the only person who knew that Sarah Tobias was being raped. The only one. Now, you watched Kenneth Joyce. How did he strike you? Did he seem especially sensitive? Especially observant? Did he seem so remarkable that you immediately said to yourselves, of course this man would notice things others wouldn't? Do you believe that Kenneth Joyce saw something these three men didn't see? In all that time, Sarah Tobias was being held down on that pinball machine. The others didn't know. Kenneth Joyce confessed to you that he watched a rape and did nothing. He told you that everyone in that bar behaved badly. He was right. But no matter how immoral it may seem, it is not a crime of criminal solicitation to walk away from a rape. It is not a crime of criminal solicitation to silently watch a rape. But it is a crime of criminal solicitation to induce or entreat or encourage another person to commit a rape. Hold her down, give it to her, make her moan. These three men did worse than nothing. They rooted and they cheered and they howled the others on. Made sure that Sarah Tobias was raped and raped and raped. So tell me, is that nothing?
Don't break. We're going to take it from, but it is a crime of solicitation, criminals to induce, entreat, okay? Persuade, okay? I want you to take your time with each one of these. Hold her down, okay? You can have energy behind that. See how they react to that. Stick it to her. See how they react to that. Make her moan. See how they react to that, okay? And don't forget, they cheered and they clapped, okay? Got it? And you're going to see how they're responding to this, okay? So take it, but it is a crime of solicitation. Ready? Go.
But it is a crime of criminal solicitation to induce or entreat or encourage or persuade another person to commit a rape. These three men did worse than nothing. Hold her down. Give it to her. Make her moan.
back it up. It's important now that we get that again, we stay closer to the script here, okay? It is to persuade, to entreat or encourage. Now you need to say the things that did that, okay? Hold her down. See how they react. Stick it to her. See how they react. Make her moan, okay? And then you say, these three men did worse than nothing. They cheered. They got it? It has to be in that order.
They cheered and they rooted and they held her down. Okay.
Right. Take it again, but it is criminal solicitation. And go.
But it is criminal solicitation to encourage or entreat or persuade another person to commit a rape. Hold her down. Give it to her. Make her moan. These three men did worse than nothing. They clapped and they cheered and they rooted the others on. Now tell me.
No. Don't break. They cheered and they clapped and they rooted three others on.
Oh, they cheered and they clapped and they rooted the others on. Made sure that Sarah Tobias was raped and raped and raped. Now tell me, is that nothing?
And cut. Okay. Everybody can come back. Okay. That is, what we needed there. Where is the thing? I can't find anything. I haven't done this in a while, have I? Okay, never mind. Okay, so that was great because you got it. Okay, that's it. Okay, got it? So that's the thing that you need to understand. It's always about the other people. It's never about me. Okay, the story is a dynamic between two human hearts, right? And if that's not happening, there is no story. Got it? So for the actor, after action, okay, it's the character, has to be the character. So how do you make sure that happens? By experiencing the moment before, by sitting there, before action and hearing that lawyer tell the audience this, tell the jury that stuff, watching them laugh, okay, watching them make fun, okay, to see and hear that, okay, and then on action, now you've got to stand up and you have to connect to the others. It's never about you, always about the other people and what they're doing, okay? Then the story shows up. And it'll change from take to take, like we saw in Rachel's and we saw in Zishan's, how it'll change from take to take, depending on what's happening. The worst thing, an editor at Warner Brothers told me, the worst thing is when you have an actor that's doing exactly the same thing in take after take after take, okay? And he says, I can't do anything with that. He told me, I got to cut to the flowers or the sunset or something, and usually to the other person, because that person isn't on. So that's the thing to understand. It's my connection to the other person, heart to heart, that allows the story to show up, okay? And what we are learning from neuroscience is that it is not about a certain part of our mind, our brain, that analyzes and critiques, what's happening, okay? So we have to look at the fact that a lot of training, a lot of our stuff that we do is actually not in the place where creativity, imagination take place, okay? It's not in the same part of the mind. Got it? So we've often seen when an actor comes in with an idea of how they're going to do the scene, okay, that comes from the wrong part of the brain, the wrong part of the mind. Got it? And if that happens, then the story can't take place. And the person will kind of be the same all the way through. Got it? But if you really surrender to the part of our mind that we've been trained not to trust, don't trust your imagination, don't daydream, don't dance around the room, pay attention, okay? Figure it out, learn the formula, okay? So it's natural that we're not going to trust the part of our brain that had incredible tea parties with Barbie every Saturday morning, okay? Or who went on the playground and shot 35 Germans in 2 minutes, okay? It's not going to go to where the story, I promise you, and this is pretty much being proven, the story and the characters are already in you. It's already there. And they're excited for you to get out of the way and let them do it. You've prepped them. You've told them all the things they need to know. You've gotten all the research done. You've played around with different things to wear, and you've said the thing, you know, over and over again, walking around. You know, you've given them a lot of room, and they're excited to take over. But the actor has to get out of the way. All right. And we saw that. We saw that today with everybody, with you as well. And that's the thing that has to happen. With you, it's always about the connection. And the only thing with you, Tamsin, okay, is maybe you know this from painting. The deal is you're out of practice, okay? You need to be practicing all the time, either on your own, you need to be in a short film, or you need to be in a class, or you need to get private coaching, okay? You need to do it all the time. The same way with painting, I'm sure, when painting,
Oh, yeah.
you know, you got to do it every day. You got to do it every day. You got it? It's the same with acting with you, because if you don't, you get out of practice quickly, quicker than most, okay? And it's because of the gift. You have a gift of the insecurity of a character, the insecurity, the lack of trust of the character, and you bring it in, you bring that in to every character you play. And that's the thing we were talking about, Zishan, about the conflict that has to be there, right? You're a natural at doing that. You can get that, the conflict, easy. But the other thing is for you to connect to the other person. That's the thing that you need to work on. You know, all of you, you're still here. Everybody else had to go to work or something, but all of you is still here. And I'm so glad that I got to work with all of you. Okay. And it was wonderful. And I hope we can keep doing this. I hope, you know, we get enough people that we can do the online thing again, you know, and get things going. And I hope also at some point that we can do it in person as well. But boy, from what I've seen today, yeah, this would be great. This will be great. And I hope we can get that going. Do you guys have any questions or anything?
Thank you for giving us this free class.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Jack.
Yeah. Well, there's the next week as well. And, you know, you guys have already done it once, so you won't be on the first. We got to let people that haven't done it first. But if you want to watch, or definitely tell me you want to be in, because we may only get like 3 people from France or something like that. So don't be afraid to do that if you want to do it again. And it'll be free. And Zishan, for you, when we announce the free class for LA actors, that's going to be 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock your time, my time. Okay, so that might be easier for you if it is, or if daytime's easier for you, that's fine too. We will have both a daytime, and that'll be sort of at this time, because that works for the majority of people that want to take the class. Okay, it's a little late for Dubai, but they can do it if they want. If we have people, you know, from the Middle East that want to take it, they will go first, you know, so that they can be done before midnight. Okay, and the rest of us will carry on from there. But yeah, I'll always have an afternoon one like this. if that works better for you than an evening one, but I will also have an evening one that works mostly for most of our clients. Like the evening works for West Coast and East Coast. Well, you know all this. I'm still trying to figure it out. But anyway, great to see all of you. I'm here for you. You really have, you've been with me for a long time. So if you need advice or anything, that's fine. I'm happy to do that for free, And if you want coaching, as some of you have asked and done, I'm here for that too. And you get the discounted rate, or we'll work it all out. Okay, make sense? Anything else? Nope. Good work. I'm so glad to work with all of you. That made me feel good. So, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Hopefully next week. Okay, that's all. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. My pleasure. Thanks to all of you. Bye-bye.